Hello, bonjour. I'm Cécile, a French artist and also an art teacher because I love to help you achieve your artistic goals. I am specialized in gouache, as you may know if you are watching this video, but I also do a lot of other mediums and I love mixed media. I recently did a course called Pet Portrait Party with 30 lessons, and I want to show you one of the lessons because this way you can have a feeling, a sense of how I'm teaching. This is an actual lesson that is in the course, and I'm excited about this one because it's a fail in some way, but it's also a success in another way. And this is how to mix watercolor and gouache because gouache can save your watercolor painting. Hello, bonjour, welcome to day 20. It's a cute rabbit today and I want to paint with watercolor and I want to use the negative technique. So hydrate your paint, decide if you want to spray on your iPad that is in front of you. No, you don't. Oh my gosh, there is water everywhere. Never mind. I want to make juice for the background because I want to define the rabbit by the background. So no drawing today. Be brave. You can do that. I want a large brush, a round brush with a fine tip, but still a large brush because you want to be brave, as I said. Looking for my brush. Do I have too many brushes? Yes, when you spend too much time looking for the good brush, it's a sign. Yeah, this is the one I wanted. I use my brushes both for gouache and watercolor. I really don't mind. So let's make a juice. I have this moss green here that is perfect for that. And maybe I will go with the first layer that is not too dark and I can still go on top of it later. So look at the image and there is a part of brownish here, but the rest of it it's mostly green. So I want to define the shape of the ears first. It's going this way, then we have a turn around and a line here. So as it's watercolor, you want to do that pretty quickly before it dries. And the back, yeah, and it won't be accurate, fine. It's about losing your perfectionism also. So I'm just looking at the outline and I see it's not correct, but it's an exercise. It's almost like continuous line, you know, it's pretty daunting at first, but then you will practice a lot and you will see what I mean. How powerful this is too. Let's make kind of a frame. So I was going for the round back and there is a bit of darkness here. And yep. And this part there, down there, it's brownish. So let's get into it. Mixing the green and the brown and going with a lighter color and a lot of water, and let's dilute that, let it fuse. So really this effect depends on the paper you have. So I see that this part is too inside, or my head should be wider. Okay, fine, let it be. under the belly it's very dark, and here there is a large part of shadows. So I'm adding more shadows to, and I am cheating now. Don't tell. I want to enlarge a bit my face. Not cheating, adapting. Sorry. And blink. Look at the silhouette. And maybe this part can be okay. Right. And while it's drying, I want to make another one because I'm not happy with this. After all, it's just a sketchbook. So maybe it's easier, depending on how you are wired, to make an outline. And there is a roundness of the shape, the back, the round, the round. So basically it's drawing with the brush. Yep, it seems better than this one, don't you think? So I can go outside of this line and fill it. So these are two ways to use negative space. It's a bit more accurate when you make a line. Look, my silhouette looks better. Let's make a frame. Also, this is a mixed media paper. This is not a watercolor paper, so it doesn't handle watercolor as would a watercolor paper. So pretty dark in there. Maybe let it fuse here. I love when I do watercolor, let the pigments fuse here and there. Yeah, that's better. The proportions look more accurate now. So let them both dry. So it's kind of dry, let's say. I have a lot of blooms, but I like that. Let's give some definition to the rabbit because so far it looks a bit weird. I just want to use some blue to make some shadows. And I'm going light at first because I don't want to mess with everything. So the second, this is a kind of a bluish grayish I'm using. This one is bad. And some parts on the back. I will go with darker color later, okay? Just very loose. I know some of you are cringing right now because loose is difficult when you are a perfectionist. Okay, not bad. I would say maybe the shoulder is a bit too heavy. It looks like a boxer or something, I don't know. Yes, I know, I'm just talking to myself, laughing at myself as if you were in front of me while I'm filming the videos. Because otherwise I may feel very lonely. So I act as if you were my friend in front of me and we were just talking about what we are doing. That's a way of teaching. I don't know if you like it. Let's make another mix because I'm trying to salvage this one. Even if maybe I will need to add some gouache to it. I don't know, it's an experiment, it's a sketchbook, so I really don't mind if this is not exactly how I had it in mind when I began. That's fine. Just having fun. Was not dry at all, I would say. I can darken a bit this one. And yes, this shoulder is too large, too heavy. But if I add something on the background, I will have to maybe do it everywhere. Yep, this way. Of course, if you do that with gouache, it's easier because you can fix mistakes with gouache, and that is cool. Let's make this with a bit more details. Get some juice on my brush. Let's drip a bit. I know some use toothbrushes, but I was never able to manage my dripping with toothbrushes. Let's make the eye. Get some. Ooh! Scary. Where is it? It's a round shape and a tiny bit of this for the nose. It's bleeding. Well, let it be. As I said, it's a part of my 30-day course called Pet Portrait Party, and this is the kind of thing we are doing in the course, and you can join the class anytime. It's available now. You have the link in the description under the video. Let this even bleed more. Yep. A tiny touch of pinkish here. And you know what, I think it's almost done because I don't want to go in details. I want to suggest the rabbit. Let's get back this ear. I need to darken the shadow under the chin because it's not dark enough here. As well as here. Much maybe And I'm letting it bleed in the background. Kind of like that. It's blurry, it's suggested. I need to let it dry again, and this one is a mess. I'm afraid I won't finish it, or will grab my gouache to fix the shape of it because it's really ugly. I'm too impatient for watercolor. And everything will be given by the details, because so far the eye looks like it's looking outside, and it's kind of what it's doing. Actually, let's try to add a brown part here. Little nose. Oh, cutie. And that messy, but I like that. It is dry. Well, the thing with watercolor is that it takes ages to dry. Meanwhile, I can get my gouache and try to fix the shape of this one. And beware, because when you are adding gouache on top of watercolor, especially when watercolor is not dry, you risk to lift the pigment below. Yeah, I think this is better, even if it's still, I'm doing him a white shoulder. Don't know why. Let's pretend it was on purpose and I can, you know, get a blurry edge. Let's say I did that. Yes, this is what I wanted to do, even if it's not. And let's get some darkness. Just to make an experiment, okay? It's this one I will show to the world. I will show the right one. Just want to see if I can fix my ugly painting with gouache. I would say I can, but let's make a dark eye. As soon as you place an eye, of course, everything is getting better. The shape of the head is still not good. He looks angry. Not happy to be here. A bit of pink for the nose. Just a hint. It's too dark on the chin and cheeks. And there is a hint of highlight here. Okay, it's a mess. Let's touch up a bit this one. I don't know why, because really I could leave it as it is, but I just want to add some fur. And also, this is a question I get very often, is can you mix gouache and watercolor? So yes, you can. Looks a bit massive still, but did I say I wanted to do that with watercolor only? Well, the thing has a life of its own. And what will also be interesting is to make the whiskers. I don't like those lines are too strong. So I'm blurring it, and I think I can go a bit more like that here. Well, I guess you see it's a rabbit anyway. And what about the whiskers? You can do it with a pen. If you have a white pen, you know how difficult it is for me with white pens. So I will do that with titanium white. Just this way. Doing it the wrong way, so yes. So I made two because my first one was a mess, but this is important for me to show you that you don't always succeed when you make art. Sometimes you have to redo it, and that's okay. And sometimes you get a mess, and that's okay too, because you learned something along the way, don't you? And that's it for today. If you're still watching the video, please comment blue whale, so I know that you were still looking at the very end of it. I hope you liked it. See you next time. Au revoir.